Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
You have a president of the United States who is living embodiment of the rule of law, even with respect to his only living son. And you can contrast that to the former president's denigration of the rule of law every single time he is found either guilty in a criminal case or liable in a civil case, including sexual assault and fraud. He says the system's rigged against him. So I think that to me is the really strong contrast between the two views of the institution of the justice system, whether it's civil justice or criminal justice.
Lindy, I just read a great, I think it was an Andrew Weissmann tweet to Dr. Redlener about, I'm so tired of this people going, oh, the lesser of two evils, or, Biden's not perfect, but blah, blah, blah. Stop saying that. Okay, it was just a tweet about what a good, honest, decent, amazing man and president he's been. Say it. Embrace it. Like, you don't have to, make excuses or, I mean, it makes me insane that people don't embrace what is really an incredible record. Well, you've been all over this stuff on Twitter on the Supreme Court, and thank you, because Clarence Thomas killed the real estate moratorium, earning his sugar daddy Harlan Crow a fortune. Alito made Argentina pay back its debt, earning him sugar daddy Paul Singer's $2.4 million. He banned abortions, earning his religious donors their biggest win. Can you say quid pro quo? And they have the nerve to say, "Oh, Ketanji Brown Jackson got Beyonce tickets." It's like, really, does Beyonce have business before the Supreme Court?
I like her even better because of that.
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
I'm also a victim of the character limit thing again. Not only did Paul Singer make $2.4 billion, he only got the case before the Supreme Court after repeated attempts after his trip with Sam Alito.
But you're
initially he wasn't successful, and then he did something. You know what I mean? It was the trip to Alaska. They went fishing together,
and the corruption and the hypocrisy is so off the charts. Your other tweet: Judge Merchan donated $15 to Biden in 2020. Republicans freak. Yeah. Merchan's daughter is liberal. Republicans rage. Jack Smith's wife is a Democrat. Republicans lose their mind. Clarence Thomas takes $4 million in bribes, and Alito takes donor-funded trips. Republicans don't give a damn. I mean, and they're just immune to charges of hypocrisy, right?
And they just don't even care what they say. They just don't, because they have such little respect for their base.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to denigrate half of America or whatever it is, but there's just a lot of, it's just psychological manipulation. They don't expect their base to push back on any of it, and the base just eats it up.
Yeah.
We need nationwide deprogramming.
Yeah, and they can. Meanwhile, they can keep yelling Biden crime, family, corruption when there's literally no there there. And
they tried so hard. James Comer tried so hard to find the there, but there wasn't a there. So
yeah. Can I say this whole flag controversy? First of all, I love you call them the Trollitos. The Alito.
I like that.
Martha Ann Turley. She is so much even after the tape came out, the undercover thing. She's such a troll. She really is. Yeah. Well, the pride flag, she's saying that she has to fly the Sacred Heart flag because she doesn't want to see the pride flag, across the street. It's just, she's such a troll. I don't know, maybe she needs to go back to her librarian job because she sounds like she has way too much time on her hands.
Yeah, go ban books somewhere else.
Oh my goodness, I feel compelled to tell you all a secret.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing it, but the last time I was here, I was about to host Biden. Do you remember? I was on the road hosting him, and then actually Glenn Kirshner was a generous supporter.
I think you're less likely to not be at the White House than you are to be at the White House. When we say where's Lindy today, I'm like, I'm going to guess at the White House. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I wasn't going to tell you. So I ended up hosting him. We raised $1.1 million in 6 days, which is amazing. My brain hurts so much from the pressure, because my name was on this thing, and if it didn't turn out well, I would be on the hook. It beautifully exceeded expectations, but that's not the secret. So, speaking of Irish Catholics. We were just talking about Catholics before the break, but he's not listening to the radio, which is why I'm about to tell you. I've been with somebody for 6 years, and I introduced him to the president.
He's super hot. I mean, the president and your boyfriend.
Did I show you a picture of your boyfriend?
Yes, you did.
I never announced it publicly, and I'm not going to share his name. He's like secret. Oh, he's a total secret. But I introduced him to President Biden. It was one of the most meaningful moments of my life. And I turned to the president. I was like, "Isn't he gorgeous?" And he turned to him and said, "But she's more gorgeous."
Aww,
and I was about to cry.
He's a charmer, that President Biden.
My boyfriend is so shy. All he could do was mumble, "Best president of my lifetime." Did you hear what I said? He's like, "Best president of my lifetime." He just couldn't really get it out. He's not total opposite of me, which is perfect because I just can't shut up, and he's always quiet.
Yeah. But, I was saying earlier, the show, Lindy, that somebody tweeted, as you tend to do, you put great information up, but just all of President Biden's accomplishments, I literally thought to myself, oh, this is too long to read on the radio. It's too boring. I can't. But that's the problem.
Yeah, he's done so much.
Thank you.
It's like almost like a fire hose of achievement. Yeah. And it's just so hard to communicate, too, because as you said, it's just not as bonkers as what Trump says on an hourly basis,
Right.
It's not a headline grabber, but he's done so much, like from $35 insulin to infrastructure, to everything. I mean, there's just so much.
But here's where I have to ask you, because you're so good at this, Lindy. I loved what you worked with Governor Shapiro, right? Where he said to Donald Trump, stop talking about America. Right. Stop talking America. That's what he's doing, is that, he just lies. How do you combat that? He just truth socialed that he's responsible for $35 insulin. Mm-hmm. We can put out a million statistics on the jobless rate, on inflation, on crime, everything that is way better under President Biden. But they just lie. What do we do about that?
Can I also just say, hey, Governor Shapiro, you're amazing. I just want to say Josh Shapiro is one of the best communicators in our party. He is just phenomenal. And I mentioned this last time. I've had a lot of interactions with politicians. Actually, Andy Kim is coming over on Monday if anyone wants to join at 4 p.m. He's just making a house call. It's just incredible.
By the way, Andy Kim, for those of you that don't know, is the representative that was on his hands and knees cleaning up the floor of the Capitol after these.
Yeah, and probably the next senator in New Jersey. But going back to Josh Shapiro, I really trust he will run for president. This guy is not only effective, he's a brilliant communicator. And you can have all the wonderful legislative achievements in the world, but if you can't communicate the benefit behind them, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So if we take pointers from anybody, it would be from Governor Shapiro. And I've known him actually, because of your history of LBJ, I met Josh Shapiro when I was 24 years old. I sent him a cold email. I was the youngest woman to run for Congress in American history. Had no idea what I was doing. I emailed him to me. He accepted. He was Montgomery County Commissioner at the time. And I was half an hour late because I was coming down from New York. He still met me, though. And then on his bookshelf was a copy of Robert Caro's Master of the Senate.
Wow.
And I knew at that moment, wow, this dude is my people.
Yeah. To be clear, I didn't really have a relationship with LBJ. He grabbed my mom's ass once. He did grab my mom's ass once on the dance floor.
Your family was really active during that era is what I meant.
Didn't you love how Trump said that he has a relationship to MIT? Meaning, I don't know, I guess he drove by it once. Yeah.
Like
that's why he's so smart. Yeah, because I don't know, his uncle or somebody went, and I know you, so technically I went to Princeton, and I've worked with Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid, so I'm technically have a Harvard and a Stanford degree.
Sure.
In addition to my Princeton degree, because I know Lindy Li. I've hugged her. You can get it just by contact. Oh. You can either drive by.
It's a contact diploma.
But honestly, But Princeton, really, I'm still class president. I've been class president since I was 17. It changed my life. I don't know how I managed to get in. It really it's just incredible. That place, there's something magical about it.
Well, by the way, because you have 1 degree of separation to everything, Lindy Li, you said Alito wanted to police our vaginas since his days at Princeton decades ago.
That's how you know that I'm unauthorized.
you said even during my time there, which was fairly recent, the Federalist Society was heavily was recruiting students, hoping to groom and capture us at an early age to hijack the American judiciary at every level. And that's what they've done.
And on Threads, I went even further because I don't have a character limit. I talked about Robert George, the professor, who is a prominent recruiter of the Federalist Society on campus. And he's still there. And I don't care if he hears this because this is the truth. I remember as a freshman, we had these like weekly Federalist Society dinners. And I thought they were just some fancy schmancy whatever. And I think I actually went once or twice, but I was just not into it at all.
Yeah.
And Robert George was like indoctrinating us, but I just didn't realize it because I was so young and didn't have any clue what the Federalist Society was.
This is the thing. They play the long game on this stuff, and you've been so great
on it. They totally do. They're so effective, and there was no liberal equivalent. There was nothing.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.